Hi, I'm Chef Jessica, and welcome to my Monday Night Live cooking class. Tonight we're going to be grilling. I hope you can see me and join us as we grill a few things. Happy Memorial Day. I'd like to start by saying thank you to the many who have sacrificed so much for our country. I am grateful. And I am also glad that this is a great opportunity for a lot of us to gather around the grill with those we care about. And hopefully you're doing that in a socially distanced, appropriate kind of way. But hey, there's lots of fresh air when you're grilling. And I want to share with you a few of my favorite recipes that are simple and easy to grill. We're in my home kitchen today, my outdoor area, where we do a lot of grilling. And we're using my big green egg, which actually, I have to be honest, it's my husband's big green egg. He loves this grill more than he loves me. And so it's really an interesting grill to get used to if you haven't cooked with it before. There are some different techniques, and I am going to just speak about grilling in general. Grilling on a big green egg is a whole different topic in and of itself, but we'll talk about the things that have to do with cooking over charcoal. We are using lump charcoal tonight, which is just hardwood that has been cooked down to coal, and it's nice because it doesn't have any chemicals in it, so it gives you a cleaner burn and a cleaner taste in the food. I am very sensitive to flavors, and I cannot stand the taste of food that is cooked with lighter fluid. To me, it gives it a very chemically flavor. And sometimes when you're buying charcoal, there are different styles of charcoal out on the market that many of them can have other things added, and sometimes you can smell or taste that. So we're just using plain old hardwood charcoal. And I've got that going over here. Our coals are about medium. I'm a little worried because my son is laughing at me. The good thing is there are no flames bursting, but I have bacon wrapped okra, which I'm going to do for an appetizer tonight, cooking on the grill. And so I'll show you how I did that in just a moment. I have a pair of tongs that I use for the uncooked meat, and then another pair that I use once it has all been cooked, so I don't have to worry about cross-contamination. You want to be really careful about that when you're grilling, because unfortunately it happens sometimes and can make you very sick. So okra is a somewhat controversial vegetable that I happen to be very fond of, and it's a good thing too because it grows very easily here. I have some in my garden, but I have taken a few stalks of okra or okra pods, and I have lined them up in a row, and I wove the bacon around each end and then over and under for the two middle pieces. So if you can see, it's over and under and over and under. And that's really all I did. You can season them if you want with a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper, or my signature seasoning blend is very good on this. But the bacon is going to baste the okra as it cooks, and it will get very crispy, and it's wonderful and delicious when you do it right. And this is one of my favorite appetizers to make in the summertime for grilling. It's a little healthier than some of the other bacon wrapped options out there, but it's still delicious. I'm also going to show you how to prepare this in a vegetarian version. So I'm going to put the last one on the grill, and I am grilling with the lid closed so that it doesn't flame up as much, because it doesn't get as much air on the flames. It's nice because you can adjust the temperature of your grill by how long it burns, how much charcoal you add, and how open or closed the vents are. So we have opened our vents enough to allow the heat to be about a medium-high temperature. Okay, so I want to show you how to skewer your okra. It's nice to get some pods that are about the same size. I have quite a few in here. You want to try to get tender okra. I like the smaller pods because I think they're more tender. They're okay when they're large like this, but they can be tough sometimes, so I go for the smaller ones when I can. So I've got these, and what I do to skewer them is I line them up on my cutting board in a row, and I take 2 bamboo skewers. Now you've got to have 2, because if you just put them on one skewer, then what will happen is as they're cooking on the grill, they'll start to lose their ability to hold on, and you'll have them spinning around on the skewers. It's just not very easy and convenient. So if you have 2 skewers and you skewer it like railroad tracks, like so, or like the letter H, if you think about that, then they will all move as one solid piece, and it's a lot easier to work with. So I've got this ready to go on the grill. Let me do one more. I'm not serving them with a sauce tonight, but sometimes when I make them without the bacon, I'll make a remoulade sauce, or any sort of dip that you like is great with that, and this makes a wonderful vegetable side dish too. With or without the bacon, they're good in my opinion. So I've gone ahead and I've got 2 little skewers of okra that are ready to go on the grill, and these don't have the bacon, so I'm going to go ahead and drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil. I like to keep it in a squeeze bottle, it makes it easier, and I'm going to throw these on with the other ones. So there we go with that, and the ones that are on the grill are looking really good. I'm going to give them a couple of flips, just double check to see how everything is. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and switch out my tools and my plates because I am going to take up the ones that are done. So I have a clean plate here and my tongs that have not touched the raw bacon, and I'll go ahead and pick up a few of these that are ready. You can really tell, I mean, with the okra it doesn't matter because it's not going to hurt you if it's undercooked. You're really going by the color of your bacon and making sure that it is the way you want it to be. I think my grill is very powerful right now. I'm going to turn it down a little by closing the vent. Did you all grill today? Did anyone grill anything delicious? I see that my Aunt Lynn is watching, and I know she always cooks delicious food on any occasion. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this up, and now we're going to make elote, which is Mexican street corn, and we're going to go ahead and get that ready to go on the grill. I'm going to take corn on the cob. People get really complicated when it comes to cooking corn on the cob, and I realize that for some it is a very important decision how to cook it, and they are very serious that you have to soak it or boil it or cook it in milk or do this or do that. I do it a very simple way, and I love it, and it's probably the easiest way to cook corn I've ever heard of. We just shuck it, and of course the fresher it is the better. Keep it in the husks until you're ready to use it so it stays fresh, and it's preferable that you cook it the day you buy it. The sugars in the corn start to convert to starch as soon as it's picked, so if you wait a while to start cooking it, it won't be as good. So I just bought this corn today. I've already shucked it. Actually, Max shucked it, and I'm drizzling it with a little bit of olive oil. I like the squeeze bottle. You can also use a pastry brush if you have one of those, which I have both. And then, of course, all things delicious have KitchenAble seasoning, so I'm going to put a little bit of my signature seasoning on this. And I like my corn to be a little bit charred, so my fire is pretty hot over here, and that's good. I think it will give my corn a nice charred flavor. So let me check everything else on the bacon wrapped okra. Give it just a moment to cool off a little over here. Oh, that looks good. So the ones without the bacon are almost ready already. They've got a little bit of char on them. I put them in a hotter part of the grill, and then this one looks good. Okay, so now that my bacon wrapped okra is out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and grill the corn. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the corn on the grill. And I only cook it for a couple of minutes on each side, just until it's got a little bit of a mark on it. I will confess, there was sometimes a cornfield next to our house when I was very young, and I would go out and pick fresh corn out of the field, the little baby ears, and eat them. So I do like fresh corn. So I've got all of the corn on the grill. There's a little bit of oil I drizzled on, and I'm going to just close this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and that one. Okay. there. Oh, you can't see the grill because of the tray. Sorry, I was just told that. All right, so let me get this out of the way. Max. Okay, so now that you can see the grill, sorry that I was blocking that, I will let you see the corn. And it's probably about halfway done now. Give it a little turn. I'm actually going to cook it in thirds because I like it to have grill marks, but you can see I've already got some color developing there. Oh, sorry. Got rain dripping on me. It scared me a little. It's only dripping a little bit. If I wasn't grilling tonight, it wouldn't have rained. And I think that our bacon wrapped okra that's left on the grill is finished, so I'll take that up too. I think it's really important when you are grilling to have good tongs. And I have a few dozen pairs of tongs of different sizes and shapes. This tends to be my favorite though. I'm really very partial to just the basic restaurant tongs. Okay, just gonna roll the corn around. And I've seen a lot of recipes for corn this year. This is something I've been making for a few years, but I've seen Greek versions and other kinds, and I'm sure they're wonderful, but I really like just basic, classic Mexican style elote. So I'm gonna do a double batch. So normally it's a 1/4 cup, but I've got 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt. You can use sour cream if you want, or if you want to be authentic, you can use crema, which is a similar product that's from Mexico. And then I've got mayonnaise, regular real mayonnaise. And I'm going to take these two things and combine them together and give them a stir with my whisk. And I'm going to add some fresh pressed garlic. And I'm going to do 1 clove per recipe, so 2 cloves. So 1 batch of this will normally be enough for 4 ears of corn. I see that my mom is watching, and she has had this before, and she says that she loves this grilled corn. It's kind of ironic, but when we went to Napa last year, was it last year, Chris, or was it 2 years ago? Time flies. But on our last trip to Napa, we went to some wonderful places and had a lot of delicious food. But I would have to say that my favorite thing, it was 2 years ago, my favorite thing that I had was the Mexican street corn at the farmer's market. They had fresh corn that had just been harvested that they were grilling and selling then and there, and it was so delicious. Of course, it was a wonderful thing to be at the farmer's market in Napa too, because they have a little bit of everything. We have wonderful farmers markets here though. We are very, very, very fortunate in that way. All right, so my corn is coming along. I'm getting a little bit of char on some of the sides. I'll give it just a couple more minutes. This is my last piece of bacon wrapped okra. Let that finish off. So I've got the Greek yogurt and the mayonnaise in the bowl here. And I've got everything mixed together with a little bit of garlic. And I'm also going to add a little bit of hot sauce. And you can add this at the end if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and just sprinkle a little on top. This is a local hot sauce that's made by my friend Sam. It's called Something Hot, and it's from Quincy, and it has a little bit of guava in it. It's really delicious. So I've got this mixed together, and we're going to smear that on the corn as soon as we take it off the grill. And then I also have some crumbled cheese that we're going to add on top, and you can use feta or cojita, which is a Mexican cheese. This is actually feta, but it's feta made from cow's milk, so it's a little bit milder. And then I also have some fresh cilantro. If you are one of those people that are not fond of cilantro, you can leave that off. But of course, if you were to have it in Mexico, it probably would have the cilantro on it. And then I also have smoked paprika, and I think it's really important that you use smoked paprika because it just has such a wonderful, delicious flavor, and a little bit of my seasoning. So let me go ahead and get everything ready. I just wanted to finish off with our little okra. I have these cute little patriotic flags which make it fun. And these are just such a fun little snack and appetizer. I know there's going to be a little bit of a fight. This is actually the only way I can get certain members of my family to eat okra. It's really yummy though. All right, and so I'm going to go ahead and take up the corn. It should be just about ready. Does anybody have any questions for me about grilling vegetables or okra? I will go ahead and see how this, here's one that's perfectly ready. Okay, this is how you know you have a plate problem. I have corn plates. So I've got my corn up and ready, and this is how you finish it off once it's all good to go. You smear this mayonnaise and cream mixture on top. This was the first ear to finish. There are a few more that are still going strong. Hi, Vanessa. And I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that smoked paprika. Thanks for the paprika, Vanessa. She bought it for me when she was doing her travels. Sort of, right, Vanessa? And here is the cheese. You know, I'm just going to use my fingers for this. It's the easier way to do it. And the cilantro. And you can finish it off if you want with a little bit of lime. I have fresh squeezed lime. Then if you really like hot sauce, just a little of that on the end. And there we have Mexican street corn. I recommend wearing an apron when you eat this. So I would not dare eat this on camera, but there we have it. Let me go ahead and pull everything else up off the grill, and I'm going to put the rest of the corn together on a platter. Does anybody have any other grilling secrets or tips they want to share tonight? Not that I'm in a rush to go offline and eat this, but you know. Next week, we are celebrating the Tomato Feastival, which normally we do in person with the Red Hill Small Farm Alliance, but we're doing things virtually this year, so I'll be sharing some delicious tomato recipes next Monday night at 7. I hope you'll join in then. But thank you all for joining, and I hope that, how long to cook the okra? That depends on the heat of your grill. Great question, Penny. I normally will just keep an eye on it, and if the grill is really hot, you want it to be medium high if you can help it, if you can control it. And I would say about 5 minutes or so on the first side, and then a little bit less on the other side. But you can tell by the color of the bacon, and also if you're not doing the bacon wrapped okra, the color of the okra. As you can see, I'll show you on the ones that I took up already. Doesn't this corn look great? Sorry. All right, so on the okra, when it's done, it gets a little bit of color and it's soft. You want it to be tender. If you've got the younger pods of okra, they cook a lot faster because you're wanting them to be nice and tender when you eat them. Go ahead and put the rest of this corn together. How do I make my chicken crispy without burning and drying it out? Oh, that is like a secret question, and I do actually know the secret to that. There are two things. First off, if you're using a sauce and the sauce has sugar in it, or honey, or brown sugar, or molasses, or anything sweet like that, don't put that on at the beginning of the cook time, because the sugar in the sauce will actually burn while it's on the grill, and that can cause it to taste very charred. So wait to add the sauce until it's almost done if it has a lot of sugar in it. Also, you could cheat. You can cook it in the oven a little bit, especially if you're cooking for a crowd. I will frequently do this when I'm grilling for a lot of people. I'll marinate and season my chicken very well. Sometimes I'll even add a little bit of liquid smoke so it's got a little more of that grill flavor. And I cook it in the oven until it's about 50 to 75% done. And then I finish it on the grill to give it some nice grill marks and give it a little more of that smoky flavor. But if you don't want to do it that way, you can also just try to cook it on a lower temperature. A lot of times people screw up when they're cooking chicken because they cook it on too high of a heat, and so the outside cooks really fast and it starts to look done or burned, but the inside isn't ready yet. And the key is to kind of slow it down and let it cook a little less quickly. So get this all together. Any other questions? Okay, so here's our corn. Got the cheese on it, and I've got the spices and a little more hot sauce and the cilantro, and we'll put the limes around and just let everybody do their own. Sounds like there's excitement. And there we have it. So I hope everyone enjoyed grilling with me tonight, and I hope you'll join me next Monday at 7 o'clock. Thanks. And follow me on Instagram and Facebook.